Also, another, well, I would say apply mostly to software product. I would say this question, the next question. So the next question basically is like, I don't know whether it's a question or an excuse. You can tell me. So some of the people say, oh, your product difficult to use. You need more polishing. I mean, there's some valid criticism to that because sometimes startup have only fewer resources, and then they couldn't make the product as polished as the $1 million company. But having said that, when you think about big company like Microsoft, right? Microsoft, Google, Oracle, all these big companies, they all have certifications to use their product. So people need to go to school to use their product, right? And they need to earn certificate to get the jobs. So is your product difficult to use? Is really a valid criticism?
No.
But then people use it a lot.
Basically, everything is always hard when you've just started.
Yeah.
I have this analogy to explain it better. Say you've just started working out. It is always harder, but also it is the hardest when you've just started working out to work your body
Yeah.
to that particular movement because your muscles have never worked on those particular moves before, right? But the more often you work out, the easier it is for you to make that move. Say, for example, when you dance, because you would have the muscle memory already.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get used to doing something, it will become easy.
Yeah.
So the notion of saying your product is hard to use, of course it's hard to use because you're not used to it. It's your first time using it. Obviously it's hard to use.
Yeah.
Just get your hands bloody around it.
Yeah.
Play around with it. In 2 weeks, you'll be an expert. But just play around with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can conclude this is more like a sort of rationalization people do because they don't want to, well, they don't want to spend time on your product or not really interested. So they have to say something
No,
that you can go back and improve on.
No. When they say that it's hard to use, it's because they're lazy to learn.
Right. Right. I mean, if you ever use Facebook the first time, it's probably hard to use as well for you, right? But they took the effort to learn it because everybody else is using it.
Yeah.
But if you come up with something new, they don't want to put the effort because they be the only one using it. So they're like, okay, why would I spend time?
Yeah, it's different than saying, okay, the user interface is not as friendly.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And then they could just give the suggestion like, okay, but if I have to do 5 steps, they could have done in 2 steps.
Yeah.
So that'll be more constructive, feedback.
That's a more constructive feedback,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
For example, like if you have a website and then, okay, the website is not user friendly, for example,
Yeah.
because you don't have the sticky buttons at the top, for example.
Yeah.
You have to scroll up every
Right,
time
right.
you need to find these buttons.
Yeah.
That's a constructive feedback.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, I can't use this. It's just too hard.
Yeah.
That's because you're bloody lazy.
Because to be frank, most apps they have a similar interface. So if you know how to use one app,
Yeah.
you can easily navigate the other apps.
Exactly.
Unless you have a really new different interface, you just have like text boxes, buttons, the standard stuff for most apps. So yeah, I mean, and like I said, all the big companies they have certifications because it's so hard to use. You need certificates to use them.
No. But I believe that the certifications is way that there is a marketing move as well on their part.
Yeah.
And also.
But I mean, what I mean, I'm just using their logic, right? So their logic is saying your app is hard to use, but in those sort of Microsoft or any other big company, it's hard to use. You have to pay to buy the software, and you also have to pay to learn the software. Right? I mean, the logic doesn't work.
Well, yes and no, maybe. I agree with you, but in my perspective, I believe that certifications is a way for them to market their products. It's a marketing move.
Yeah.
It's a branding as well. And also, it's a way for you to make money.
That's
Right.
my point, right? So they market it and then they take your money.
Yes.
It's double win.
They market it, they help you learn it,
Yeah, and they charge you
and
for
then they
it.
charge you for it.
Hey, that's a good
It's
business
more,
model, right?
more money.
Right.
Yes, it is.
So I think the only difference between a company like Microsoft and startup is size. So if you become big enough, you can do anything basically.
Exactly.
That's what it is, right?
Yes.
You can make the product really crappy, really hard to use. I don't want to bad mouth, but I don't know if you heard of SAP. Many companies use it, and I heard many developers hate it, but they still keep making sales. So, yeah.
Just think, just like if I were to use your analogy of a startup, a normal business, if I were saying Microsoft compared to other brands, Microsoft, even though they've been established for a long even they've been around for a long time, they're still competing against other businesses, and also startups. So they're still innovating.
Yes.
So business-wise, yes, they're established, but products-wise, they're still innovating, right? Just like startups.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So that's how I see things. I know it's a bit different.
Yeah.